Hello. Now my mic is working. Of course that happened. Welcome, Star Trek Lost Voyages. I am the GM Tim, and with me is my amazing, illustrious crew. Hello, amazing, illustrious crew.
Us?
Yes, that's you.
I was going to say, is there another crew?
Well, I didn't understand what he was asking. He said illustrious, and I was like, not me.
I mean, illustrious always mean good.
Not tarnished at all.
I mean, isn't that a shampoo?
Honestly, I thought he might be double screening, and we were in the background. I don't know.
That's the new illustrious from Ferenginar.
The crew of the USS Haida has been promoted to spectator.
Not yet.
But soon.
But soon. Yeah, so you welcome. I'm the GM Tim. Welcome to Star Trek Lost Voyages. We are in this ship right here. Ship right there. Oh, wrong end. And the USS Haida, and we're exploring the Shackleton Expanse. And tonight, Sam, take it away, my friend.
That's my cue.
That's your cue.
All righty. Captain's log. The toll the Dominion War took on the Federation was still fresh on our minds as we get back to Naranda Station. The damage done to Beta Z and the other previously claimed planets that the Dominion and Breen took was hard to see. Then, the recent Captain's Eye report out of Starfleet Medical about the new virus devastating Navara's 6 vegetation is disconcerting. They're still trying to sort out if it is a natural evolution of something not seen before or remnant of the war. However, not all is grim. The Federation, Klingon, and Romulan empires have maintained dialogue. Alliance is far from a strong term. Still, there is hope. More personally, we have been invited by Admiral Shrib to attend a dinner on the station. There are representatives of different interests in the Expanse. It should be interesting.
Dun dun dun. We do a side swipe, and it shows Narendra Station floating there in all its glory. Starbase 324, if I remember right. I always forget the number, and I don't think we've ever used it. Yeah, right. Now somebody's got to look it up. We
364.
There we go.
Somebody did
so
look it
close.
up. He was on our team.
It was in the back of the book.
Hey, you're the note taker now, right?
That's right.
Well, he is the Vulcan.
Volunteer.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
is the Vulcan. So yeah, you are so they. I always thought that it would be cool for, like, we play Star Trek Online, and one of our star bases we built has like a big dome that you can see the stars, and I always thought that was something that should like definitely exist in a star base that's kind of like not necessarily a key defensive star base, but just like has a bit of that. So I think that there's like an observation deck on the very top of this thing where the entire roof is just like a glass dome. That if they needed to, they could like shut it down or shutter it if there was like a fight. But in the meantime, in a case like this, it's literally like creating kind of like that instant ambiance and just kind of like awesomeness for it.
But this is like invite only. So we see the lower decks crew trying to get in. They're getting denied.
Yeah, they're totally getting denied.
We're already inside.
Of course, Caldano is that wasn't that his name? Is the DJ?
No, it was the Han Solo character.
Oh, yeah, what was his name? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy now. Yes, he's the Great Okuna.
Yeah.
Okuna's the DJ tonight. Yeah. Good reference, Leah. Nicely done.
I think that was Sam, but sure, I'll take it.
Give credit where credit isn't due. Is
due.
No.
Yeah. So you're all wearing.
My first officer pulls her weight.
Yeah.
Mine too.
You're all wearing your dress uniform. Shrev looks super sharp.
Yes.
And it's absolutely the whites. I thought the whites as the dress uniforms were just like wicked looked, and then it'd be like the red trim, like for your, like if you've got red and blue and orange, like they would actually trim the uniform instead of like being the primary color. And yeah, so throughout the night, you guys meet with people that you have made contact with here in the Expanse, and even some of the kind of like old friends. So Varia, Vi, your pilot, or your Orion friend, is here.
At a Starfleet event. I'm
Well, it's less a Starfleet event. Yes, it's more of an Expanse event.
Oh, okay.
So since the
TV show The Expanse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
launch
TV show just ended. Anyways,
since the
400.
we're gonna plug Amazon Prime for a second.
right.
Moving on.
If
104th
Amazon
season.
Prime wants to pick us up, let them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're game.
Right. I lost my train of thought. So yeah. So Mevin is here.
Excellent.
Yeah. And she is, you know what? In fact, she comes up to you at one point through the night, Zanny, and hands you a like a glass of like just something clear, and then takes like a couple vials out and just says here, and dumps it in, and it turns like that Romulan ale blue.
Oh, wonderful! Because I really need to get loaded this evening.
And she
so.
says, I know you don't normally, like imbibe in this, but consider this a peace offering. We've had our differences. I still don't think I like you. I'm pretty sure you don't necessarily like me, but we can at least agree that we can work together.
Work nearby.
Yeah.
I just hold up the glass and go, well, on some level, I have to respect you.
Indeed.
Click.
It's quite good. It's like a diluted sort of version of it, but yeah.
God.
No,
So you just let a Romulan dump a mysterious liquid into your
Yeah,
drink? You're
yeah.
like, this is
Don't
fine.
you know that Dougie is pretty much with me at all times now, making sure that I don't die ever since my
She's
brain got fried.
bandolier of like,
Yeah, he's just right. So I'm safe.
Also, if it's knockout, it just means you don't have to deal with the rest of the reception.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also,
Come on, do I still have to tweak your knobs all the time? Is that what's going on?
Hey, now.
Oh. Yeah, is that done? That's done.
yeah, I'm
That's-
pretty.
yeah.
that was
That's
gonna
done.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
Also-
wasn't, I could just get a nurse to do it. That's fine.
Can we please make it done?
Wasn't it done last episode?
I hope so. It's
I think it was done
now.
2 episodes ago.
It's done now.
I'm pretty sure I just woke up from a coma, so I might not have best judgment anyway. So,
You were on the planet hanging out with your dad. It was done before then.
oh, yeah, the coma was the one before. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're good.
Okay, we're good. I can keep going.
We're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Mevin would mess around because she can feel Gurkhan and Varia's eyes boring into the back of her head from across the room.
So, Gurkhan,
Mm-hmm.
a young Klingon woman, approaches you
Mm-hmm.
and says, Kapla, I met your honored wife on Earth when I was there representing my people. It is a great honor to meet you, and in every sense of that word.
I don't know if I'm still dead to the Klingons.
You are.
And I'm like, excellent. Who's my wife?
Ooh, and disappear.
Yeah. Just walking backwards.
Gurkhan to transporter room 2.
They're just teleporting in and out.
Yeah, help, 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 help.
Every time there's a Klingon, I just go toot, toot, on my comm badge, and I'm gone. No,
yeah,
I would be like, thank you. Believe you are mistaken though. I am unmarried and unknown, and I walk into the crowd.
She kind of like she follows you very politely and says quieter this time, but with respect, sir, your dishonor is not recognized by myself or my people, and your wife is a great. She was a Batleth master, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gave me a few lessons when I was approaching the Federation for my people, and we got to know each other. And you deserve honor, not the dishonor that the Klingon High Council bestowed upon you.
What house are you?
I am not. We don't have that on my world.
Oh. Excellent. She's Klingon?
So as you say that, you kind of get a look at her, and a little bit like she's, yes, but soft edges.
Something else.
Something else.
And I go, I served the Klingon High Council faithfully and died with honor. Let's leave it at that, young one.
She gives you a nod and says, fair. But on Navarre, you're very much alive.
Excellent. But for the sake of the Federation and Klingon alliance, I am not.
She says, well, it's in fact with the Federation that I wish you might be able to help.
I sit down. This will be a long one, I
just,
suppose.
Just like in the middle of the space, you just sit down.
There's probably chairs or something somewhere. I sit down and I go.
Just walks over to a table. Move.
Yeah, 100%. I sit down and I look at everybody at the table.
Everyone just
This is a private conversation.
Is just like.
Yeah.
Takes off.
I got a thing. Oh, is that Commander Puckins? Yeah. Bye.
Gurkhan literally picks up a jug like this.
So she's from the planet Navarre. They have recently applied for Federation status. But they fear. She fears that there's not a plot afoot, but there's something going on at her home planet, and she needs help. Yeah.
I'm assuming you don't have any of this written down.
Tim or her?
No, her.
Yeah,
like,
no.
She can't just hand me a pad with all this information. I can peruse it quietly without speaking.
No.
Your homeworld appears to have integrated Klingons.
Yeah, so you do a quick check, let's say, on your pad or on a pad that's on the table. Navarre isn't listed anywhere.
Okay. Do you know are there many like you on your planet?
Yeah,
Klingons,
we have
half Klingons.
We have a full city.
How long has it been there?
Long as I've been alive, longer.
And you're requesting.
My parents were from there.
You're requesting admission into the Federation and not the Klingons.
Correct. They abandoned us.
And what is this plot that you speak of?
Well, that's the problem. I'm concerned that there are other interests with other external interests trying to convince my people to join rather than us joining the Federation.
And you wish my help in this how?
Because your wife told me that I can trust you implicitly. And therefore your crew.
Follow me. And I stand up with my leave the bottle on the table.
Okay.
And I walk over to Varia. I walk over to Varia.
Yeah.
And I go, this is an interesting one for us, Commander.
So I'm like, I got my arm up against the wall, and Vi's just between me and the wall, and I'm just talking to her.
Yeah. As soon as Gurkhan walks up, Vi just kind of
sorry, duty
I
calls.
mean, go. And she gives you a kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
And then she looks at you. She's like, "Thanks."
I give Vi a sorry nod.
Yeah, she's just kind of like, "Yeah, I know."
This bit will be important, Gargon.
The fate of a planet, that not important?
Why does this always happen when we're at parties?
Dun, dun, dun.
Aren't there other Starfleet around? It's just always me. Hi.
I figured you would be better to speak to at this point. The captain appears to be drunk.
Yeah.
He's not drunk.
We can't tell.
It appears to be.
Or talking to himself. Who knows?
Never
May
tell
not
with
be
him
actually
anymore.
talking to myself.
We have an applicant for the Federation who believes that her government may or may not be infiltrated in some variety. I do not know. Nothing was really explained. She came to me for diplomacy. That's not my forte, Commander.
Is she like behind you?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I kind of like look around.
She's like right there. She kind of like leans over behind him, and you see this definitely half Klingon.
She did specifically request for our aid and our aid alone. She spoke
Why?
to my wife. My wife told her that I was trustworthy. I lean into Varia. I'm like, I don't know what my wife said.
Can you contact your wife?
She's on Earth. That message would take a few days.
And I like lean around. Gargon, Привет. I'm Commander Yesakov of the USS Haida. How did you get here? You're a refugee?
No. I traveled with the last sort of shipment of people coming from Earth.
Oh, okay. However, this that might be my misunderstanding, but this is a for a party for officers only. How did you get in here?
Well, she's an applicant for the Federation in the Expanse.
Oh, okay. So they would have let her in. All right.
Yeah.
So that's normal.
Their planet is in the Expanse.
Okay. Is Navarre? Isn't that Vulcan?
Oh God, I hope not.
It's Navarre.
In Discovery, it's similar. I don't think it's said exactly. Maybe it's.
Okay.
Go with
Yeah.
it. Go with
Yeah.
it.
All right.
There's 900 years. It's fine.
It's fair. Yeah. I wouldn't Yesakov wouldn't have known that anyway. Yeah, because it's like in future Discovery. Okay. All right.
Just spell it differently. We're good.
NVAHR. That's how I spelled
With
it.
an apostrophe because it's
Done.
Klingons.
Throw in an apostrophe.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's fine because the
Throw in
Discovery
two.
one's NI.
There's two apostrophes.
There's two. And
two.
after the first
like
next to each other?
It's just a quotation.
We're all discussing this in front of her.
So you have to say it while yelling.
Focus.
All right.
Focus.
Navarre!
Are
So you know it's Klingon.
You gotta
see
roll
the-
the R though. You gotta roll.
You see the- there is a government plot. Am I correct in this?
Yeah, like you guys, I really want to like reiterate. You're in the middle of a party.
Oh, I know.
Having
Yeah.
a-
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I'd
good.
say-
Yeah,
So,
she
I'd
looks
say-
at you and she says, "Yeah. Could we maybe like go somewhere?"
For sure. So yeah, this is what I'm imagining, right? As I was talking to Vi in a corner,
Yeah,
and like, there's not a ton of people around,
No.
so I'm not like, there's a government plot.
yeah, no. so, but this is a good
but
point.
yeah.
We're gonna go to the intro and then we'll
Okay.
come back and yeah, all right. Okay. So we're gonna, as Star Trek does, we're gonna jump to the next scene. So you guys are on the ship. Your ship is heading. He kind of does that like away from Narendra Station and then jumps to warp. If you don't mind, Sam, Captain's Log Supplemental. We've taken on a passenger, and after talking with Admiral Shrev, we've decided to help Trelane. No, I can't use Trelane. So
after a whole bunch of what? How did you hear about a classified applicant?
Yeah,
what's wrong with you people?
Yeah,
Get in my
exactly.
reading room.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
By
the way, it was classified. Everybody.
Trying to give the character a name.
I lost her name. I have too many notes open. I'm not even going to pretend. We're just going to call her Panov.
The applicant.
The applicant.
That's what the name of the episode.
I thought it was Children of Fear.
Yeah, so Panov, we'll make it Panov. So she's filled you in on some stuff now that you guys are on the ship. And we're going to like kind of cut the scene down to sick bay. And you're just finishing your tests, Dr. Doug. I'm assuming that probably the bridge crew would be there. It maybe one of those.
At this point, I would be there.
I have an open door policy in my med bay.
It's just more of like I'm trying to figure out why who everyone.
Gurkhan would be there because he's a link.
Yeah, and
She
probably
specifically asked for his help.
And doctor-patient privileges do not exist on our ship.
Oh,
apparently.
they don't? Oh my God, that's
Apparently,
a dangerous statement to make. So let's say that Gurkhan and Zanny are there. Dr. Doug, you've made a discovery.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go talk in my office real quick?
Go, Doug.
Great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you have an office in here? That's a nice place.
Kind of. It's used to be a closet. It's not my office.
Ah. Renovating. That's nice. I signed those papers. I remember. Yeah. Anyway.
Just move the coast to the side.
What's
Yeah.
up?
And I'm gonna hold up like a little vial of like they put in the end of a hypo spray kind of thing, and it's gonna be green or whatever. Ramen's blood's green, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's got almost like a brown hue because it's.
I was gonna say because if you mix green and pink, it's gonna be
it's gonna
brown.
be brown, yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, you stealing blood samples from Evan again?
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Anyways.
Yeah, she's 50% Romulan.
Still drinking the Romulan ale from the party.
What?
I
Oh, okay.
How strong this is?
Yeah.
She's just been walking around with the glass all day.
For a day.
Yeah.
Sipping it.
Sips at a time, man.
No.
Didn't want to be rude.
One every half hour. That's all I can manage.
Yeah.
Gotta stay sharp. Okay.
Uh,
How? I looked directly at Gurkhan on that one. How?
Gurkhan's thinking, is this...
Well, when one Romulan loves a Klingon, they go into a separate room and magic happens.
So the weird part is Dr. Doug, and you wouldn't necessarily know this because you've only been you would for you're a xenobiologist, right? So there is aren't you right?
I think I got rid of it when we redid our characters.
Did we clean it up? Okay, so that's okay.
But I would still have a basic knowledge. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be like an expert.
Romulans and Klingons shouldn't be able to do this.
Oh.
And there's another sort of like connector point that you haven't been able to like figure out because I don't want to say corrupted, like it's not like a negative thing, but just the mix of the two seems
artificial.
Yeah, it's definitely artificial. It's going to take some time for you to figure out what that other one was. So to sort of start your task, I would actually like you to make we're going to make an insight and medicine check for that, please.
Okay.
And to kind of like show how this is like a task that's going to take you a while, every kind of like few minutes we'll do another one throughout the adventure.
And could I use a focus since I'm in the med bay? Could I use medical imaging systems?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And do I get any help from the computer at all?
Yeah, if somebody wants to roll the ship's computer, you could do... Oh, what would be a good one for the ship?
Computer science or computer's medicine?
Computer's medicine.
Modular labs aren't set up for biology?
No. All right.
Should
I roll first?
Yeah.
Oh.
It does matter.
I've supported you.
So the computer... Ooh, okay. Okay. So, Dr. Doug, you have... you've been able to figure out that, so you're on the right track. Like it's gonna take time. You're not getting your answer now, but it definitely starts to kind of like process. Yeah.
Do we have any, what's the session's determination thingies? What are they called again?
Yeah, your determination.
Yeah.
So your directives this game. You've
Directives,
got
that's the word.
okay. You got the prime directive. You've got help Navarre, and that's the two. So you've got your determination, and those are the two. You know what? I'll even give you a third one. The third one will be like, who's behind it? And Gurkhan just turned into Nikki. So,
There's a ghost.
It literally looked like Nikki was like walking around in engineering. That's awesome.
She was asking
She
me
just
if I
went
wanted
behind a
dinner an hour
bulkhead and
later.
everything. Like that was really quite good.
Who's behind it? That Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki's behind it. She's
Right there.
Ensign Nikki.
after we have this meeting with Doug and Dougie, and he's gonna like be like, I need 6 hours to do this or whatever. I'd like to just do a quick conference with my primary crew here. Sorry, Beagle, you're gonna have to stand
Oh,
on the con for while I pull everybody else in and just let them know, like, so a couple things. You already know we're on the route to Navarre. That was actually a classified applicant that y'all aren't supposed to know about, so zip it. And I'll order that directive through the rest of it. But also there's appears to be an issue with their vegetation that people are investigating, and this is why it was secret. A secret applicant, because they don't know if it's being done to them or it's happening naturally. So now y'all briefed. Done. Let's get that out in the open. Cool.
Succinct, I like it.
All right.
Wait, am I there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, what? Oh, there must be some more research.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get there. Anyways, let's keep it short and brief. Dismissed.
Are we ever gonna tell Yesakov that she's Romulan, or are we just not gonna keep that from her?
I don't think that's relevant to this information. This junction, Doctor.
Yeah. Gurkhan does point out to Dr. Doug that there is a possible common link between them that he believes could be a thing, because he's met half human, half Klingons, and half human, half Vulcans. Could there be a human ancestry? Could they be the ultimate warrior?
Don't be silly. Yeah. Nobody's ever heard of a half human, half Vulcan.
Half
It's never happened.
Yeah, no, never.
Never.
Definitely no one famous.
Yeah.
I feel a disturbance in that. Wait, no, wrong. Wrong genre.
Oh, that's my nose bleeding.
Oh shit! Someone.
Sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
Tim's realizing some errors in his ways.
Uh-oh.
So Navarre and Navarra are different places.
Vaughn is a band from the 90s.
Well, fair enough. We'll just chalk that up to having the wrong notepad in front of him and go, wait a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, so you guys just got a whole bunch of classified information. Let's just
luckily that's only with my immediate bridge crew. Who
you are a security nightmare.
I just told you
I go and pick up the pad. You can't just throw these things and leave them around.
She picks it up and realizes it's already been deleted and there's no information on the pad.
They're not paper.
Gurkhan was entirely confused, and he's like, "This planet's really messed up. The government's corrupt. The atmosphere's dying. The plants are dying. What the hell is going on?"
Let's fix Tim's.
We'll move on. Yeah.
Let's fix Tim's error. So we're gonna call her planet Chatopra, because that's very different enough.
So retroactively, this briefing was about how there's half Romulan, half Klingon, so Zanny doesn't look like a complete dumbass.
That's right. On the planet of Chatopra.
Just half a dumbass. It's fine.
There, I'll put it right in so everyone can see that Tim made an error. There.
Now, when I did my first test, was it exactly 50% Romulan?
No.
It was less.
Less 50% Romulan and Klingon. There's something else that allowed them to join together, but it's been corrupted by the other two, so you can't figure it out. Like that's what the computer's like processing.
Be like 5'1" because it might be Tellarite.
It's gonna be one of those. It could be pork. It's gonna be one of those like you in your lab kind of checking every now and then and adjusting dials and then carrying on with the story. Okay. So the word from on high for you, Zanny, is that you're simply transporting a delegate back to their home planet. And Shrev looks at you and says, "You're not to get involved beyond just dropping her off and making sure she is safe."
And that's what I will tell my bridge crew. And the rest of the crew gets we're just transporting a delegate, regular run.
Okay.
But I'll let Varia and Sofek know that we have a half Romulan, half Klingon, half something else.
And let's make that your directive. Make sure she's safe.
Make sure she's in.
And at the end of the meeting, Gurkhan hangs back, sits in the chair looking at the captain directly, and make sure that everybody's out of the room.
Yeah, okay.
Looks at the captain and he goes, "So we're helping."
Officially? No.
To the Klingon. Yeah, we'll see what's there. Yes, Captain? She came directly to me for help, and honor demands that I help.
Well, we'll definitely have to stay in orbit for 10 hours.
I mean, there could be... I might need to adjust and repair some slight modulation or shield harmonics, which might take as long as needed. Correct, Captain?
I mean, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous to travel throughout this expanse without those systems, so we'll just have to log a repair.
Gurkhan stands up and he goes, "Thank you, Captain," and leaves.
I'm sitting there by myself, talking to myself, sipping some Romulan ale, looking out at the stars.
I'm not trying to make the captain.
He's slowly turning into an alcoholic.
I know.
Slowly.
What have I done?
What was in that hot chocolate every episode? What do you think?
Blood wine, Romulan ale. He's just sampling the Alpha Quadrant is what he's doing.
Sampling the Alpha Quadrant. Fantastic. Okay. So you arrive at this planet. The system is gorgeous. It's got two sort of like gas giants, Saturn Jupiter style, so Jovian size, and then around the one Chatopra 3 is got about 37 moons, and 2 of them are M class, and that's where they are. So it's actually like not just its own planet, it's a moon around these 2 massive, and then it's a twin star system. And you can almost see the blue of the planet as from like a distance, like as you're getting, or of the moon, sorry, as you're getting closer. It looks to be very it's a very tropical planet. Lots of water, lots of islands, one sort of very large continent, but for the most part it's lots of sort of just average size islands, I guess.
Yeah. Archipelago. Cool.
Yeah, like a giant planet of an archipelago. Yeah.
Nice. Bring us into geosynchronous orbit, and our Pavlovian Penelope. Yari just asked our guest to come to the bridge.
What were you trying to say?
I was just playing my character.
Okay.
For like, he didn't even get to meet
her.
Really,
meet her.
Yeah. Sick bay for like 5 seconds. It's like Pavlov, Palobla. What? Just ask her to come up. Right. He gives up sadly. He's so disappointed in himself right now.
You got it, sir.
Sarah.
So she comes to the bridge. You asked to see me. And then she kind of looks out and she just kind of like gets like that look of, you know, when you've been gone from home for a long time and you get home and you might not necessarily want to be there, but it's kind of like, it's home. Like you just came back from a decent holiday and you're like, all right, I could go on a holiday a little bit longer, but it's nice to be home. Like it's that kind of vibe. That's the face that she's got.
That's nice. So, it's nice. Sounds sick. I go over there and say, so we've been ordered to transport you home, but also make sure that you're safe. We're about to reach out to the open communication of the planet. Anything I should know about who might answer?
No, it'll be just standard request. You can tell them that. I mean, if you let me speak, I can do it for us.
Very well. Follow me, and we just enter the center of the bridge, and I go, open a channel.
Okay. So Beagle opens a channel and kind of gives her a nod, and she says, "This is Panov. I'm aboard Federation starship, ready to come home." And then somebody pops up on screen, and Tim hates doing dialogue between two NPCs, but essentially they just kind of like greet each other. The language that they're using is the translator is catching it, but it's having a hard time, and it looks like it's a mix between Romulan and Klingon.
I'm going to assume Sofek's picking up on all of this.
Okay. And then she kind of like they agree that they can come down, and they invite you to come for like dinner, as you have kind of like brought her all this way. Thank you very much. Yep. Come see our planet.
Great. I was going to cut in and just inform them, hey, we have some minor repairs that we have to do that we noticed on the way over. We might need to stay for a little while, if it's okay with you. And if you're inviting us to dinner, I'm going to assume so. So we'd love to join. I'll bring my best people.
All right. Okay, so like 6 o'clock rolls around. She was ready to transport down with you, so you can wait. She can wait. Dr. Doug, give me one more test to see how it's going.
Same as before?
Same as before. Great, and the ship. Excellent. Okay, so there is going to be now one momentum in the pool.
We all meet.
Are we going to be wearing our dress blues?
This is not really a first contact, but we should.
But it is a
probably
diplomatic meal.
Dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gurkhan will have his hair fully loosened down in the Klingon traditional way, though.
Ooh,
nice.
Neat.
Wearing the Kirk wraparound shirt.
He'll have his sash on. Gurkhan will have his sash on with all of his war medals.
Gurkhan's wearing a sash. So you guys haven't seen Gurkhan wear a sash in 3 years now.
Since he lost a bunch of it.
I leaned over to Sofek and I thought he lost that.
I believe he's been slowly accumulating more foil out of the replicators, Captain.
I didn't know you were still allowed to replicate foil.
I
thought after the incident.
I leaned over to Doug. You're not.
Oh.
You gonna stop him?
He is chief engineer.
I
Are you going to stop him?
He's the Klingon who's chief engineer of the ship.
How did
He's bigger than me.
How did this game get to talking about foil?
Wasn't that what most of his medals were made out of? We
5
discovered
seconds.
like half the stuff that disappeared was the stuff he made up his own.
He's wearing a sash. Like,
It's the metal
I think,
sash.
guys,
It's the Worf one.
guys, I think we finally broke down.
Yeah.
Hey, good night, everybody.
yeah, our job is done.
It's only been like 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're prepping him.
I assume we only
really need
transport.
him.
I'm trying to get us back.
That's okay.
All right, down. We're on the planet.
Down.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
go down.
We say goodbye to our massive transport.
All right, you beam down. Now this, as soon as you land, you kind of like tell you like, and it's like that, like the hum of the chimes of the transporter kind of wash away, and it's just like an instant. Has everyone been somewhere tropical?
What is that smell?
Yeah, so it's that instant hit of just like
Humidity.
flowers and humidity, and you can feel the weight of the air on you, and but it's actually kind of like I don't know what Zanny thinks, but
Doctor, little help.
does Zanny have tropical flower allergies? Is that what
He's got some
God.
allergies.
Of course he does.
Let me check my fanny pack.
Benadryl hypo spray.
Just like in the fanny pack, moving lollipops around. Like there it is. Some antihistamines. Immediately sweaty.
Just certain tropical
So
allergies.
this place is a mix of very new buildings and some very old buildings, and you do see a mix of Romulan and Klingon architecture kind of scattered throughout.
Fascinating.
There's some. You can see a delegation arrives to meet you, and they are of varied brow ridges. Some are very prominent, some are very slight. Some people's ears are more pointy, some are not. Some have that more kind of Klingon reddish undertone to their skin, and some have the more Romulan green. And it's like this wide variety of people. They all of them look like they're in their 30s, anywhere between their 20s and their 40s. Like, you don't see anyone with like gray hair. You don't see anyone that's older.
Gurkhan's the oldest person on this planet.
But that's like, yeah, like, yeah. Greetings, well met. We are honored that you would bless us. And they kind of look at her. And does this mean they've agreed? And she says, not yet. They're still in talks. How long does it have to take? And she kind of gives them a look of like not here, not now. And they stop, and they're like, fair enough. Sorry. Welcome to Chatopra. We please this way, and they kind of guide you guys towards one of the buildings. You see some kids kind of playing off in the area, off in like backside by houses, and it's very it's. I want to say that it's like we're not talking like disconnected old, but it has some of that aspect to it. It's like you take an old neighborhood and you modernize it.
Hey, Sofek, are you able to
Gentrified.
No, yeah, yes, but no. Like it's just been like maintained and updated, but they let a lot of the old aesthetic the same.
Somebody brought in a power washer.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You washed all those. We gotta make sure we don't clear up all those statues with the glowy lights.
Sofek, can you date some of this architecture?
I can attempt to, Captain. It is quite a unique blend of two architectural designs. So yeah, I want to, Tim, I'll see if I can figure out and date some of the how old the older stuff is and how new the new stuff is.
Sure. Yeah.
Captain, permission to scan?
Granted.
So
I look over Varia. He's the first person who's ever asked me.
I don't know if this is a diplomatic thing.
You're absolutely 100% like nailed it. You nailed it. It's just literally the first time it's ever happened.
I'm gonna run over to those kids.
Okay.
And be like, "Hey kids, who wants to get scanned?"
I have some candy for you.
Oh,
I don't say that.
No,
I don't say that quite
no, we're not.
Would you like a lollipop?
I'm a doctor.
Our handlers must be confused. The people who are guiding us around this planet, the doctor wind sprints off towards kids around a corner in an alley.
I profusely apologize for my doctor's behavior, just saying that he's a former pediatrician and he holds
they don't even seem to like it doesn't seem to faze them. They seem to be like legitimately fine with him kind of like talking to them.
Shall we eat and discuss?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's have a sit down. Aria, any questions?
She's just looking
so
around.
One sec. So Sofek, let's do your check first, please.
Yep. What do you want me to roll?
We're trying to figure something out. So insight and science. No. Well, yeah, science. You're doing like be science or engineering, right? Because you're looking at architecture. I would consider that almost
engineering would be architecture. Science would be dating it, right?
Yeah, I'll let you pick.
Science it is.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
They are buildings.
So you're able to date some of it though. At least some of the buildings are over 100 years old. You're not getting an exact date, but it is over 100 years from this point, 2375.
Anything off the newer buildings?
The newer buildings look like they are built out of materials here, made here. And it looks like they were made here, not replicated. And you can tell that there are some replicators, but they look to be like fairly new additions, and there's few and far between. Most of what's here is like properly manufactured. Gives it too much of an industrial aspect to it, but very much like built for this planet, by this planet, in this planet.
They were constructed here.
Yeah.
With materials from this planet.
Yeah, it's very not like industrial strength replicator type stuff, right? But they look sturdy. And it looks like there's that's what you get. You got one success, and you needed a little bit more.
To me, it sounds like they immigrated here then. There's nobody here looks like they're a day over 30. If this stuff isn't made here, but that stuff is, and it doesn't sound like they're actually from this planet necessarily, and they wouldn't be since they're genetically, Klingon, Romulan, something else. So where did they come from? I'm actually saying this to Sofek after he tells me. Before we go to dinner or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Doug. So Doug, give me a scan check, because you're being kind of like a kid doctor, right? Like you're playing right into like down at their level, goofing around with them, scanning as you can. And we're
playing a game. Who can hold my tricorder in front of their face the longest?
Oh, that's a good one. Why don't we do? It's not daring. Do insight medicine still. A lot of insight tonight, I think.
Can I use my pediatric medicine focus?
Absolutely, you can.
Sweet. Crap.
Oh, you poke one in the eye. Whoops.
Yeah, no. So it's definitely not giving you any new information beyond kind of like what you're getting. You're still having a hard time. This might help. Like it, you're concerned that the planet has maybe an effect. Like it could be the fact that they're here. That might be the identifier between the gene, as opposed to off planet. But you're not getting anything new beyond that. They are definitely like markers similar to what you got from Panov. So none of them are her kid. I mean, you learn that much. Yazikov, you were going to say something?
So yeah, I was just, as like Sofak was talking about the buildings, I just think, so they artificially made them look older, or are you saying that all the buildings are only 35 years old? Did I mishear that?
Yeah, some are really old.
Oh, okay.
And then some are new.
Okay, all right.
So some were established
Ignore
and
me.
others have been rebuilt. Yeah.
Yeah, like the older ones look like they were built by industrial replicators, while the newer ones were built with materials from the planet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with each other, or shall we sideswipe to dinner? I don't mind. I'm not trying to rush. I'm.
If I can't figure it out just from scanning their biology or whatever, I just kind of want to maybe go check out the water, or maybe just sort of like plant life, see if it's something to do with the planet. Maybe even just scan the atmosphere.
Sure.
I'll walk up to Doug and be like, it might be better if we do that with the ship. It has a much more powerful scanner for atmospheric scanning.
Yeah, fair enough.
You could pick one of those things that you'd be able to do right now before we need to
water.
The water, like the fresh water or the ocean.
I mean, I assume we're near the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll walk down to the ocean.
Okay.
And grab some of that.
All right. So it is. Give me a scan. I'm not even going to make this a difficulty. This is just a momentum booster for you.
Okay. Big old one.
Big old one. That's okay. That's one more than you had before, right? So there's. So the water is clean. It's natural. You don't detect any like there's the. So this planet has a unique diversity to it that isn't registered on your tricorder in any of the Federation core worlds. So it's like the terraforming that the Federation does to its colony planets has there's no effect here. It's completely unique.
Is it salt water or is it fresh water?
No, it's salt water.
Okay. I'm gonna just take a little vial of it with me, and I'll go meet everybody for dinner or whatever.
Okay. All right. So at dinner, there is you just conversations around. Basically, everyone gets a chance because we're going to run out of time doing this otherwise. Each one of you can ask a different question of a different individual you're talking to. So what is one thing that you would ask? And we'll start with, okay, Sandy.
How did you get here? Very direct.
So we were born here. And this is all we've known.
How did your parents and your grandparents get here?
Our parents were born here as well, and they tell you about the grave, and they say our grandparents we don't know. Our parents never talked of them.
Huh.
Said we were unique and this was our home, and they never went beyond that.
Interesting.
You told him about a grave?
There's a gravesite, yeah.
Where the grandparents reside.
Where the parents.
Just the parents.
Yeah.
Where are the grandparents? Are they in the same grave spot?
No, they were never told about their grandparents. They don't know their grandparents. They
Right.
only know they're second generation. They only know that. Yeah, they are not unintelligent, but how this Romulan Klingon joint came to be, they don't know. But neither planet responded to their request to try and join, and so they decided, screw that, we don't want to be part of it. Federation it is, and tactically, this would basically put a finger right in between the Romulan and the Klingon empires with Federation control. So it's not actually that horrible a kind of idea.
But it also could be a big signal from the Federation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understand why it's classified. Why it was classified now. I will tell this, what I've learned, to Dr. Doug when the time arrives. But I will see.
Fair enough. At dinner, what's Gurkhan? I heard an.
Well, I was going to ask whoever I'm speaking to, where are your elders?
They've since passed.
How old were they when they passed?
Oh, father was 180.
How old are you?
I've been on the planet for 87 cycles.
I gotta try to figure out calculate what their cycle is compared to an Earth cycle.
You do the math, and they're probably in their 70s.
Oh, I mean, for a Klingon, 70s is middle age. Do they look middle age?
They look young.
170 is an old age for a Klingon to live, but I don't know too much about Romulans. I lean back and I go, Sofak, you're like, what, 15, 16?
Centuries?
I am 51, Commander.
Excellent. I'm like, I see children here. I see adults, but I see none of the ones who are of my appearance. And I point out to my gray hair, to my wrinkles on my face, and I go, do they no longer work? Do they have a community where they live?
No, they've all passed.
No. Did they all pass at the same time?
They all passed before I did.
Oh, that's how it works usually. Thank you for confusing me.
Anyone else?
It's a base of natural causes.
As far as anyone here knows.
Do you have
There's
any
no war.
records building or any place that you that records of previous cycles that are kept?
We do. It's in the center of the city. We can show you tomorrow if you wish.
That would be most enlightening.
Okay. Dr. Doug, you got anything?
I do have a question. I don't know if I want to bring it up in the middle of dinner. Maybe after dinner. I want to go see the graveyard.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they can. One of them is willing to bring you to the graveyard.
Sweet.
So you get it will end there. You can head out. The suns are setting, and you can see the Saturn sort of planet in the sky, reflecting the sun off them. It looks just big and kind of glowy in the sky. The graveyard has a whole bunch of markers, but they're very tightly put together. It's not the biggest space, maybe 500-600 square feet.
How many people are here?
Do you want to do a scan, Dr. Doug?
12?
Yeah, I kind of want to go try to find the oldest of the graves.
Yeah. So there's one dated back with no date, but the stone kind of gives off. Give me a reason and science.
I'm gonna point at the ground and be like, Gurkhan, start digging. I'm just kidding.
Gurkhan looked at Doug like, when did grave robbery become standard operation?
Gurkhan just starts twitching. No.
I thought he was starting to pull out a knife for honor's sake or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
so-
because these are part Klingon, so they do not get denied Stovall by you, Dr. Doug.
So
They're already there.
Dr. Doug,
Their bodies are just an empty husk. You guys don't care about the bodies.
Dr. Doug, there are no bodies here.
Yep.
These are just markers.
Mm-hmm.
You
Start.
can't figure out which one is the oldest. You're like, or what the date is.
Can I just keep walking until I actually find bones?
Yeah, there are no bones here. Your tricorder's not picking any up biological material at all.
Doctor, perhaps we should have Beagle on the ship do a planet-wide scan for any of the DNA markers you found. See if we can find something outside of the living people that we have here.
So the bonus is that you guys could all beam up and do that after dinner, now that dinner's done. And we can go to our intermission. That work? Okay, great. So we're going to go to commercial. You guys beam up. We got 2 momentum. We're going to lose 1 as the scene changes. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Super clean.
we're back. And I even remembered to unmute. I'm so proud of myself. I did it, everybody. Welcome back to Star Trek Lost Voyages. I am the GM, Tim. We just finished our intermission. The team is orbiting the planet Chatopra, where they have been trying to figure out kind of what's going on. Chatopra is applied to the Federation. They've managed to figure out that they are half Romulan, half Klingon residents. And they've only sort of found 2 generations of people. The elders are all, passed. So the crew has been trying to figure out what's going on. Dr. Doug, you had asked Beagle to do a scan of the planet. A scan of the planet takes a long time, but the scan of the immediate sort of like, say, 100 kilometers around 200 kilometers around the settlement, you find no remains of any Romulans or Klingons. It's not that unusual. Klingons don't keep the bodies, likely recycled. And I'd imagine Romulans are very similar. I don't see Romulans keeping bodies either, because why waste resources when you don't need to?
Maybe possibly eating the bodies. Maybe we should probably put that at the top of our list.
Soylent
Eating their dead.
Green.
They could.
Gurkhan's looking at the leftovers he has from the meal. It's like,
Energy recyclers are a thing, Doug. It's not.
It's not uncommon in poorer planets to recycle protein.
Best in the Star Trek. Best in the Star Trek.
So while this is all happening,
You grew up in a planet that had plenty of protein.
Beagle looks over at Sofek and says, "Hey, Lieutenant, did you know that the ocean," and he kind of points to the really blue planet down below. He goes, "The ocean's just soup."
At this point, the meeting stops and everybody just looks at Beagle.
That word translate correctly. Soup, he said.
Yeah, soup. Yeah.
Not soup.
water,
Yeah,
protein,
he says
vegetables, salt.
what's in soup? Sofek?
Fish poop?
Beef barley?
There's water,
Borscht.
salt, vegetables,
Water.
and some people like meat.
What about haggis? That's soup?
No, that's
No.
haggis. Very much not soup.
The spaghetti soup.
It could
Got
be.
water, protein, salt, and starch.
I mean, it's a starch, but I'm just saying, the ocean is soup. It's
Are you
logical.
soup? Junior Lieutenant Beagle? You're full of salt.
When he says logical, so
Oh,
quick,
no,
eye
no.
just starts twitching.
I want to see how the Vulcan responds.
We all look at. I'm looking at Sofek now.
Yeah.
What else is... But if stew is...
No, stew is stew.
Stew is stew, but soup is soup.
Don't think too hard, sir.
Well, Lieutenant Beagle has taken the incorrect path. The destination is not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Beagle's onto something.
Oceans
is-
are technically the beginning points of many civilizations as the biological soup that we have all sprung from.
That is the most Vulcan response I've heard.
Oh, bravo! Well done, sir.
I hand Barya a strip of latinum.
Beagle just still looks pretty proud of himself because, everyone had to think about it. That's what he's going with.
Only to
Thank
follow
you.
his reasoning.
He kind of walks away. He's like, still soup. Dr. Doug, I don't see anything.
Thank you for derailing our mission.
Eat George Costanza day.
Right.
did.
I'm the one that derailed the mission. Yes.
What is he? He's
Yeah.
a lieutenant.
Way to
Oh.
steal our
Yeah,
jobs.
you guys made him a junior grade
Junior grade.
lieutenant.
No,
Junior grade.
Yeah.
I might
we
have
spent
made that
5 minutes
mistake.
talking
No,
about
he is-
foil. Don't worry, we still won.
You still
Uh,
did it.
4 minutes, 50 seconds about foil.
Fucking nerd.
Okay.
Done. The planet is renamed Campbell's.
So the next morning, nice. The next morning, you're able to beam down to the meeting, the record keeping room. The transporter chief won't beam you too close to the planet because there's some sort of when you did the scans, when Beagle did their scans, he wasn't able to scan beneath this building in the center of town.
So there's something underneath the building.
What do you mean he can't transport us near the surface?
No, he can only
Like, he has to,
teleport.
like-
No. Teleport you near the building, not into the
Oh.
building.
Okay.
He can't teleport.
You said
in-
surface, like we had to like
you said-
parachute
Oh,
in.
sorry.
He was like good plan. I was just
How
like,
do we do that?
so like what, low
Superhero
orbit?
Yeah,
Or-
like
Drop us
hold
in
your
the
breath,
over,
sirs.
we're
Are we doing a transport halo drop? What's
sorry.
going on here?
Heck yeah.
Feet first into hell.
I look at, as this idea
who-
floats, I just look at Barry. I'm like, next mission, we're doing that.
Who
Luther fist pumps.
who besides Dr. Doug is beaming down?
Captain.
Zanny, Gurkhan, yes.
The
Who wanted
captain's
to-
going. I'm going.
All right.
I didn't want to go to the records. I wanted to go to the graveyard.
You want to go back to the graveyard?
Well, no, not anymore. I already did that.
Yeah.
Who wanted to go to the records?
Sofek.
Oh,
Suffolk.
I'm going down because I'm hunting to see what their technology level is like.
Make sure the captain doesn't get shot.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
So
I'm gonna
Doug,
go talk to kids again.
It's my job.
you want to go talk to kids again? What are you trying to find
Maybe
for
they
the
can.
kids?
Maybe they can take me to some weird secret building that shows their past or something like that. I don't know. You know.
Elementary school.
It is very
Yeah.
Star Trek.
It is very
honestly.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh, you want to join the Federation? Cool. We'll just poke around your city for a bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to your kids.
I mean,
Nothing weird. Just want to talk to
nothing
kids.
weird. We don't need to. Let's not even pretend we're going to go there. We're not even going there. All right. Okay. So Dr. Doug, you go off to talk to the kids, which actually fits your character perfectly. You were a pediatrician, so there's no reason. Yeah. Yezikov, Zanny, are all four of you going to the record room?
I was going to go talk to the council again.
You're going to talk to the council?
Yeah, I mean they've been fairly wide open, but they don't seem to know anything about their past. So while Sofek digs around the record room, I just wanted to go meet and greet once again, maybe ask a couple follow-up questions.
Okay, so Yezikov is going with Zanny. Gurkhan, what are you doing?
I want to find their main power generation for the city and see if they can give me a tour of their power levels and how that works.
Sure. Okay, so one of them is willing to take you off to do that. Let's do you first because it'll be the briefest. So, okay, Gurkhan. So, what I'd like you to do, please, is they're going to take you off. Most of the city is powered by wind and tidal generators just off the coast. You don't find anything kind of like unusual, but give me an insight in engineering as you sort of suss out anything more.
Can I use my focused power generation technology?
Yes, you can.
I will not use momentum. Two
All right,
successes.
2 successes. So with 2 successes, you're able to transfer and follow back the power lines going from the kind of like the new sources, all very clean energy. Give me a. Would you like to gather more information or obtain information with your 1 momentum you just gained from this?
Yeah, I want to see, because you said that the city's about like it's a medium small city, and I don't know if I could trust solar and tidal to provide enough power for
Oh yeah,
all the technology they have.
It's Star Trek. It's all going to be like very clean, very good in that sense. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like, could I see if we'll make a guess that will it generate enough power for the technology that I've observed?
Yeah, so for the power you've observed, absolutely. There likely is another source, and kind of following the lines, you find you can see a set of older power lines. Remember I said there's like 2 generations of buildings here? You find some older stuff that reminds you of like pre-D7 Klingon tech.
All right, can I follow them to the source?
You get to an old power station that looks like it's that sort of fuel style that the Klingons used for their older ships.
Okay. So and then I'll scan it to make sure it's
definitely
100%.
Yeah, it's
100% Klingon, no Romulan in there.
no, it's 100% Klingon. It is old too, like I said, pre D7.
And it's inactive.
Yeah, it's just kind of like what you're gaining from it. Like it looks like that's what started everything, and then they came up with more efficient and modern sources as the decades went on.
Okay, and I asked the person with me, has this been off as long as you've been alive?
Yeah, they just know that it's part of the old systems, and they don't need anything from it, so they've just kind of left it here.
Is it safe for me to enter?
Yeah, it's. I mean, from what you're reading, say it's completely shut down and inert. So
yeah, I'm gonna go in there and scan and try to see if I can get any serial numbers.
We're gonna say it's an old fusion.
Fusion would be the technology of the future.
Yes,
fission is the technology of now.
Okay, then fusion. It's an old fusion generator.
Okay, and there's no way I can not necessarily date it, but I want to figure out if there's any serial numbers on there that I could be like, cool, let's get a snapshot of it. Maybe I can use that serial number on one of my databases to see if I can. Klingon serial numbers are like, what do you mean?
Yeah, give me a daring and engineering.
Assuming there's no focus on this.
No, not on this one.
3 successes.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to find some stuff. You might be able to run it through the systems and find something, but it's not something your tricorder is going to have. You're going to have to definitely upload it to the ship and then let the ship kind of do its thing.
Okay, so I'm good with that.
Okay, let's go over to Yezikov and Varya. Jesus. Both of you.
Varya.
Both of you, yeah, no. Zanny and Yezikov. Hi, folks. So you've got one momentum in the pool still, and you guys wanted to remind me. Sorry.
Oh, I just want to talk to the council about a bit more about what they know about their past.
Sure.
Sort of get their collective history, what they learned from their parents. Did they build the buildings? Just that general information.
Yeah, so their parents built the newer stuff.
Right.
But they definitely built their parents and them as kids built the newer stuff. And their kids will build newer stuff as they get older and bigger. Like as the families kind of grow and the people kind of expand, then we'll need more buildings and they'll build as well. But we try and build only as we need, not for any other purpose. And you kind of this place is really we're talking that kind of tropical paradise vibe, right? So it's not like you need a lot of heavy protection from the elements when the elements are very favorable for living. And even while you guys are down here, you're feeling very kind of refreshed and like rejuvenated, and you haven't felt this kind of in years.
Ooh.
Varya's just sweating. She's Slavic. She's very warm. But I'd like to. I'm just kind of standing in the while he's quashing them. I would just want to pick up a vibe. I want to do a vibe check. Are they being withholding?
Sure. Give me a.
Do they believe what they're saying?
Presence and security.
Okay.
What are your focuses?
Interrogation and intimidation.
I'd let you use interrogation for this one. Yeah.
All right. So 2.
Yeah, you're not getting any weird vibes.
Okay.
They just seem to generally not know. They probably weren't told, and you don't see a lot of library tech. They just seem to they're here. They know that the other two kind of nations won't talk to them, and they know that they wanted to come to the Federation.
They have warp travel, obviously.
They have capability. Yeah, they have small ships.
Sorry, go ahead. other than the obvious, why now do you want to join the Federation? There seems to be a sense of urgency when we landed.
So when they finally decided to reach out, then suddenly they were threatened by people coming to the planet saying, if we join the Federation, we'll be in trouble.
Who came?
They talk about a Ferengi that they describe a Ferengi, and it's. Do you remember the Ferengi you guys met forever ago?
I'm so trying to remember his name, but
Her,
I can't.
her.
Her, right? Because didn't she be down and we got them in a fight with somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What was her name?
So
she was wearing clothes, but yeah.
Yeah. So she was a messenger. That she didn't know where the message came from. Rule of acquisition: don't ask, don't know. And that's not really what I'm just making it up.
I was just gonna be like, that's a bunch of balls.
But you wouldn't tell your sources if you weren't told to not. Yeah. Comes in an envelope. I got paid. I don't care. I'm delivering my message. Join the Federation at your own peril. Be destroyed if you do so.
What language was the message in?
She spoke it.
Oh, I see.
How long ago?
You said letter, so.
It was a couple weeks after we had applied for Federation status.
And have you heard anything since?
No, the Ferengi hasn't been back.
I'll just mention to Varia, we should tell Beagle to scan for any incoming vessels. If they know we're here, somebody might pop by.
Yes.
Unexpected.
I'll have him put a boy out before we leave as well.
It's a good call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Dr. Doug.
Where's Ferengi space compared to where we are right now?
Oh, if I remember my map properly, it's in
Are they Beta Quadrant?
No, it's in the Alpha Quadrant. It's over by on the DS9 side, but not that close to but it's on that side.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Ross. So the kids know of a sort of secret place. Shocker of shocks. So as you're kind of playing with the kids, they're like, "Hey, do you want to see our fort?"
Oh yeah.
And one of them even pipes up, "There's even a spaceship."
Cool.
Right? It even turns on all by itself. And they're kind of leading you sort of into the old part of the city, and then you see this this door that looks like it's kind of like a hurricane shelter, heavily overgrown, and just kind of enough holes through the bramble that the kids can get through, and they're like, come on.
Am I able to get through?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let's see if we generate some. I'm even going to spend some threat to make this a little bit more difficult. But I want to see if we're going to create complications or build some momentum for you. So give me a fitness and security as you're kind of doing some athletic stuff.
Oh, my girdle. Yes.
Oh, 3 successes. I mean, you play with kids, you know how it works. You got to be a little bit more active, right? No big deal.
You got to be spry.
You got to be spry. So you kind of you weave in through some of these brambles and trees, and you get to this bunker door, and it's very much kind of on that sharp angle. You know you're about to open up to a stairway down, it's one of those, and you can see where the security panel is just so old it's punch keys. And it's just kind of eroded away with time. And then you can also see where they very obviously chiseled away at the door to just kind of break it away from the old security lock. As kids do, right? If they find something cool, they're going to find a way in. So they kind of open it up and they're like, go on, we'll follow.
I'm gonna open up my tricorder and just let it passively scan as I make my way in.
Okay. So you make your way in. Nothing happens. It's like pitch black. Your scans aren't reading anything. In fact, your tricorder is not even registering you as you're kind of like start walking down into this place. Very obviously in a
Parallel dimension.
Dampening field. I love that that's where Ross goes first, is a parallel dimension.
Checks his face for a goatee.
Yeah. There's nothing here. I'm going to pause with you. I'm going to go over to Sofek really quick, okay? All right, Sofek, so you're up in the library or in the old records hall. It's very well organized. You can see where it's very obviously like this planet has been well studied. There is lots of flora and very small fauna. There's nothing like major. There's no massive predators that anyone has to worry about. At least on land, there are definitely some ocean predators the thing talks about. But on land, it's a fairly low mammalian, very small ecosystem, but insanely diverse. In fact, you've never seen such diversity on a planet, or a moon, I guess in this case, in a long time in the Federation. This one definitely has like that kind of like a great abundance. If it's accepted in the Federation, you have no doubt in your mind this will be a very popular place.
At least for xenobiology, figuring out like,
like,
why are there so many creatures here?
Yeah, and this is one of those ones where it's like, you know, this could challenge Risa for beauty. Like it's kind of one of those styles of planets. Yeah.
What about
nothing
historical
about the past.
records? Nothing.
No, nothing back more than 2 generations. And all of that is just about establishing the colony and making sure that it can be maintained. But give me a insight in science if you want to try and see if you can suss out more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2.
Not much more. There is a very, so you get 1 success out of that. There is a very obvious on purpose non-reference. So like they're very purposefully ignoring talking about anything beyond those generations. Like it's very much like it's almost as if, according to the records, this place just appeared because they got here. But there's nothing about why they got here, who sent them, nothing. Like, and it's very obviously like left out. Like anyone, like, it's no wonder that anyone living here has no idea what they're kind of like talking about, right?
What about if I go into? Is there any like government record keeping of like meetings or any council meetings or anything like that that'll give any clue as to why they've approached the Federation now, as opposed to
they're just concerned. Like it was getting to the point where it was like we should join the Outer Worlds. They had reached out to both Romulus and Kronos, and neither one had responded. And they did that. The last time they did that was you can see in the documents like 50 years ago. So they started then talking with the Federation, and now it's become a point where it's like no longer just like relations. It's now let's meet.
Okay, but other than that, nothing really weird.
Well, the weird is the Ferengi sort of showing up and making aggressive statements. Urged urgency. Like, so it became now, okay, well, now we go from like being a maybe to being an absolute. We have to do this.
Mm-hmm. So their plans kind of accelerated once the Ferengi showed up with like don't do this. Well, we're going to do it faster now.
Yeah.
Maybe no one gave the Ferengi the message. Maybe the Ferengi's just playing their own game like they normally do.
Could be. Okay, Sofek, you're not going to get anything else unless you're going to try another roll for something. What else would you like? Is there anything else you can think of?
Not really. If there's nothing in their records unless I can try going through one of their data terminals, see if any data's been deleted off of it.
No.
See if there's any remnants.
So from the check that you did, I'm just going to say that. I mean, yeah, sure. You know what? Sure. Give me a insight and security.
Big old goose eggs.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, you're not getting anything more than what you already know, right? Like, it's very obviously they are, like, starting their history at that point. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll just report what little I've found to the captain.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm going to have the four of you are all connected kind of like via your communicators. However, you're not able to reach Dr. Doug.
Sure, he's fine.
He's probably been kidnapped by kids.
I wouldn't put him past him, but maybe we should actually go find out.
And you're like, when you kind of like contact the ship, Beagle tells you that he can't see Doug's communicator on the scanners either.
Yes, now I'm concerned.
Do you have his last known position?
Yeah, he gives you his last known position.
All right, let's go take a look, everybody.
I'm requesting that while we're going, I asked Beagle to scan the planet for any quantum singularity drives.
Okay.
Which is the Romulan power source, because I found a Klingon power source. See if there's any Romulan power source.
Oh, that's a
on this
very
planet.
new Romulan power source.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you can if you want, but like if you're looking for like an ancient one, that wouldn't exist. That's like
just still gonna ask.
yeah, okay.
Wouldn't we have records of the ancient power sources from that asteroid we encountered with the ancient Romulans?
Proto-Romulans?
Proto-Romulans. Couldn't we cross-reference that power source with possibly another one on this planet as as a check too?
Sure.
Con, you want to do that?
That'll be on Beagle.
All right, so Beagle will do that. Oh God, you're making Beagle make a computer check. Ugh.
Well, I'm walking through the forest trying not to sneeze, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Beagle's gonna. Oh, Beagle's doing pretty good. Gurkhan, you want to roll for the ship?
Ship doesn't support, but we have improved sensors, which reduces difficulty by 1.
Well, then, in that case, Beagle messages back as you're kind of heading towards the last location of Dr. Ross that there is one. He's getting like. He can see an old power line going into that building, but they're not able to detect a power source.
the one we're headed towards.
Correct.
All right, and it appears deactive.
He can't tell. He can't scan inside the building.
Is the power line lit up?
Power line is not. It just matches the old stuff on the cross-reference of the database that you guys just asked him to do.
So when we get to the area, do we notice anything like that's?
You see a group of bushes. Like, you literally looks like Dr. Doug walked into the Narnia.
I look
Yeah,
over at
wow.
I look over at Yesikov knowingly.
Yesikov, give me a fitness and security.
Yeah, I like pull a machete out of somewhere.
Out of Gurkhan's backpack?
Extendo boot knife.
It's a dress machete.
I got it too.
All right. Yeah, you push through, and you see the doorway I described to Dr. Ross going down.
I found it. It's here.
All right.
And,
Yeah, I'll take
and
my-
you see
my
lights coming from down below.
I want to sneak forward.
Okay. As you sneak forward, you kind of go down the steps, and you see Dr. Doug. And Dr. Doug, I'm just going to kind of like, we're going to catch up to you. This all happened while you were doing this cutscene. We see Dr. Doug probably looking a little bit in awe, but definitely trying to like play it off as like, oh yeah, no big deal, to the kids who are like running around this very ancient Romulan warbird that's sitting inside of kind of like a massive hangar below the city hall. And there's lots of old computer consoles that are like, have that like thin layer of dust from a sort of clean room, but just aged. And you see sections of like you see something inside of like tubes, and like this is like a mix between a museum, a lab, and a small hangar. And it lit up, Dr. Doug, as soon as the kids walked down here. So the minute they came down, it activated, not you. That's why you walked into darkness.
Gotcha. So it has something to do with the Romulan in them. Can I do an experiment really quick?
Yep.
Can I have the kids leave and have Skwxwu walk in?
Sure. Do you tell that to Varya, who you can see standing there? Varya, probably, what
He's
is...
down here.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming.
Yeah. I just want to. I just want to have all the kids leave and then see if the lights turn off again.
All right. So the kids kind of like take off, and the lights turn off.
And then I'm gonna ask Skwxwu if he can come in here and look at something.
All right.
It is safe, probably.
I mean, I'm still alive.
Got a flashlight, Gurkhan?
You could have left that last word off your sentence, Commander.
So when Skwxwu comes
I like
down,
to keep you on your toes.
they kind of like, they power up but then down again. Like you can tell that there's enough of, like it's close but it's not, no cigar. You know what I mean?
Yep, gotcha. All right, I'll yell for the kids to come back down.
All right.
Oh, and I lean over to Dr. Doug. What about Gurkhan? Eh? There was some kind of collaboration.
I'm guessing from the Romulan warbird that it's the Romulan blood and not the Klingon blood. But if you want to test it, we can.
Gurkhan's already down there with you.
Yeah.
For science.
Well, he's
Gurkhan and I
down
were just standing outside chatting. So
Yeah.
And Gurkhan's like
Planet,
to the captain, like, it makes sense. I found a Klingon D7 just on the other side of town.
oh shit. Oh, wow.
I wonder if they crashed here and decided to have
No,
babies.
not a D7. A power source from that era, before
Oh.
the D7 was invented.
I found a Klingon power source from that other side of town.
Huh. Well, weird. I mean, if they were how to start a town, it makes sense to scuttle whatever ship they came on. So.
I
You
mean,
know.
what does this mean?
Do you want to look
Yes.
around?
No.
Yeah, I'll start looking around.
Dr.
I speak.
Wow, this is
Dr.
fascinating. Everybody want to go home?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, they made the request. Let's deny it and go home.
It's almost dinner.
I speak Romulan, so I'll go start poking around at things.
All right. Do you want to look at the ship first, at the lab first, or at the what did I say? It was a hangar, a lab, and oh my god, my brain is literally not working tonight.
It's a
Engineering.
museum, didn't
The
you?
museum. Which one of the three do you want to check out first?
I'll go check out the ship.
Okay. The ship is definitely really old Romulan. Like before the Romulan ship that now they know Kirk had discovered. It's from before then or around that time frame. Like it's an older system. But you can definitely see some Romulan Klingon crossover at this point. So there's most definitely like they've both got that kind of that where the Warbird and the D7 kind of like started and mixed maybe. Yeah.
I'll call Gurkhan over. Gurkhan, come look at this. Isn't this Klingon part here?
Yes, Commander. At one point, the Klingons did sell D7s to the Romulans.
Oh. Interesting.
I mean, we didn't always hate each other. Just like humans and Klingons weren't always allies.
Yes, I remember reading about this.
I am scanning the ship. So
Yeah, it's a mix of Klingon Romulan tech. Definitely collaborative. There was like a very short time when Klingons and Romulans allied together.
before they both met humans.
When they both met humans.
Humans were the scary ones. Still are.
We got only a
Big
few more
chuckle at
minutes. What do you want to check next?
I'll go take a look at the lab.
Okay.
Bring Sofak with me.
Sofak or Doug?
Both? Why not? I don't have to.
Okay.
I only have one person in my party.
So, Sofak and Dr. Doug, can you both please give me? Let's do pick a science within reason, but it would be daring or insight. If you could really argue it to me, I'd let you do reason. But you're kind of like on uncharted grounds. Maybe Dr. Doug might have something, but
Yeah,
Science to it.
Yeah, science is fine.
yeah, which one though? Daring or insight?
I'll do insight.
Insight. And Sofak?
Yep, same.
Okay.
Insight.
So give me a check. We'll make it a collaborative between the two of you. And I'm going to spend a couple threat just to see if I can make it difficult for you. Holy, Dr. Doug is like, I am knowing this. All right, so Dr. Doug, as you're kind of like going along, you find a tube, and then you kind of like, you're like, hey, what's this doing? You flick a switch, and it kind of does one of those chunk, 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 chunk of the lights, and you see these tubes going just back into the darkness. And they are filled with humans.
No. It was evil after all.
Like head to toe, they're in a tube. Like
Yeah, standing
one-
up, standing like it's standing
they're
up.
vertical.
They're vertical, yeah,
Yeah, well.
yeah. Very, very much not alive. Like we're talking
humans or humanoids.
humans.
Interesting.
I'm getting
Yeah.
some terrible Tal Shiar vibes in this
And
room right now.
and as you kind of like look through the files, it is the mystery DNA that is joining them together.
Who did this and why?
I
Well,
think Gurkhan called it.
Zanny, would you like to check out the museum?
I would, yes.
Great. As you start to walk through the museum, you guys have the kids are still kind of like here, right?
I've befriended one of them.
I hope they're playing with something sharp.
He's kind
One of them is going to hang out with Zanny. We'll say the others aren't looking at the tubes. The
They're
one,
not horrified.
yeah,
by
exactly.
what-
So
Maybe
Zanny,
one's
as you're walking sort of towards the museum, the kid's like, we never come down this way. It's always just weird. It talks to us, and we don't like it.
Gurkhan's gonna be with Annie as well at this point.
Yeah,
too.
and then the thing kind of fires up and I always kind of imagined it would be very much like propaganda 1920s type.
Oh, so it looked just like a back shot or like
Yeah.
sort of black and white, like you
Yeah.
hear a voice come over the speaker.
Yeah, and it talks about the evils of humans and how now that the Klingons and the Romulans are allied together, this planet will house our greatest weapon ever created against them.
Fascinating. This is an experiment that got forgotten.
Or
tell me
shuttered.
more- Or shuttered. Yes, shuttered. Disavowed. Tell me more, computer. Is there like a button or something where I can be like full play rewind?
Yeah, but that's
Look
like,
around here.
give me a couple questions because Tim doesn't just want to narrate stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna search the computer for like any sort of starting documentation on how the experiment like get here, like
Yeah, so it looks like it was
any
an
recording of
accident.
landing.
It looks like it was an
Okay.
accident between trying to find a cure for a disease that the Klingons had that ruined ridges, and a weird mix between an ambitious admiral from the Romulan side and an ambitious general from the Klingon side. They realized that they could kind of genetically create a new species, mixing there too, but they needed that third binder. And so they just started capturing ships.
So they started capturing humans, ships.
Yeah.
These two generals, or the admiral general, do we know their? We find out their names, and I'm going to assume the Klingon house that was involved in all this.
Yeah.
You don't need to name it. I'm just assuming.
You actually don't find them anymore. It looks like during one of the kind of like one of the council shifts, they lost all honor, and were ejected from the house. All their lands were taken and removed.
And the admiral, I'm going to guess, was he part of the Tal Shiar, or was he just General Romulan?
It doesn't say, but I mean,
say.
no. But this is far enough back that there might not have been the Tal Shiar, the powerhouse they have now. They might still have been like.
Want to know? I had it. Shoot, Gurkhan, if you have a question, you can go. While I try to remember what I was thinking.
Is everybody? I want to look up the genetic manipulation charts that they're using. See if they have like one of those Jurassic Park DNA kids things that I could watch.
I'm Mr. DNA.
Dino DNA.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I want to see if they can reproduce naturally or if they are all right now still fake.
They can reproduce naturally, but only with each other.
Okay. So it's not like the machine somewhere on this planet is still pumping out hybrids. It's happening naturally now.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what the time frame of this mission was and when it was supposed to come to fruition.
30 years, and it was meant to come to fruition 2267.
It was a while ago.
The Kittimer Accords?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gurkhan knows that date cleanly. So it was abandoned when the humans and the Klingons became allies. And Romulan treachery was revealed.
And human treachery, actually.
Everyone was treacherous.
It was a weird movie.
Two least ones were happy.
I just looked at the good con. I'm like, I'm surprised this place just wasn't wiped out. I guess it was forgotten.
With that, you have Beagle. Sir.
Standing here.
It's coming through really weirdly. So the dampening field, now that everything's powered up, has shut off. He goes, and you can hear the kind of an explosion in the background. He goes, sir, there's a Romulan ship here. I need your help, please, sir.
Away team to the Haida. Beam us up, Kenny.
All right, yeah, so they cycle through, because shield modulation, right? So they kind of the shield modulation cycles through and they beam you up. There's a Romulan warbird right out front, hovering there. You see a couple sparking consoles. If you had to guess, Zanny, it was a warning shot before the shields were up, kind of thing.
Hell, that ship.
Mevin shows up. Of course it's you. Of course it's you.
I really appreciated the drink. Of course it's me. How are you doing?
My friend, it's time for you to go. This planet is ours. The Romulan Empire claims it.
They have requested asylum under the Federation, so, Mevin, same day, different pile. We're here again. Appreciate you not punching a full hole in my ship, though.
I mean,
considering we're allies.
You're lieutenant, and she kind of looks around you on the big screen and he did okay.
No, he's grown a lot since you first met him. You probably don't remember though, but so we're back in this pickle where if the Federation offers them full status, then we're gonna have to give it to them. But at the moment, that's being discussed. So I can't, in good conscience, leave these people to whatever it is you want not.
So in your mind, you can hear you're always on, right? I just want to remind, yeah. So you hear her thinking very intently at you. Give me a reason to leave. I need a reason to leave.
Ooh. Can I speak with you, Varia, for a quick second?
Yep.
Just a minute. Varia, yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Just like lean over the console.
Come here, come down. I forgot
whisper.
you were behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were next to me for a second. I was like, she needs a reason to leave, like to get out of here. They
Shoot
don't
her.
want to be here.
Shoot her.
Shoot her? That's the best you got?
It's my go-to. We could leave a diplomatic envoy on the planet, say that we are in discussions.
That might work, but they can't. I have a feeling they just want this planet to be left alone.
We
No,
can
that's
also
it.
make the claim. I'm listening to this. We can also make the claim that this planet is under threat from the Ferengi Alliance, and therefore the Federation has to defend it because they've requested defense from a non-allied race.
That might work.
And all we are here to do is not to go down to the planet, but mainly to make sure there's no Ferengi on the planet. I mean, a little white lie to prevent a big bloody war.
I have a thought. Thank you both.
I thought I was muted that whole time.
Okay.
Hey, Mevin, we're actually retracting all of our away teams to our ship. We're not interested in the history of these people. We were just on a diplomatic mission, but we have learned that the Ferengi Alliance has been operating in the area, so in good conscience, we'll just we need to hang around for just a minute to make sure they don't, claim this territory, which you've mentioned is in dispute right now, because they tend to do that.
So you're gonna stay so that the Ferengi don't take this. That.
I mean, this,
Not so they don't take it. No, so they don't. What's the term I'm looking for? Exploit
Annex,
it? Is that
exploit.
what they do? Annex. Annex, exploit. No, these are their own people. So we're really
Okay.
just.
Okay, she kind of just gives you like a look. Okay. It's too early in the day for this.
Yeah.
And she just kind of looks into you and
Agreed.
says, if there are any weapons or any Federation influence under this planet, there'll be repercussions. And then she just cloaks.
Good seeing you again, Mevin. Have a nice fall.
Into a sun.
Just cut that. God, scan for tachyons when you have a chance.
So you get like that
deal with
last
this.
image of them as they're kind of like fading away off. It's moving. The ship is moving away, but it's scanning for tachyons is not an easy detection anymore.
Yeah, just in case. I don't want to get shot in the butt. We'll leave.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, again.
Hey, good news. While this is all happening, the Federation Council has decided that they can join.
Oh, good. I guess we have to say now, we would be happy to impart the news on behalf of the Federation and welcome the delegates aboard our ship.
They will for like a formal dinner,
Yep.
but I think it'd be a good idea if you left someone behind yeah.
Well, in this situation as Romulans, there's only really one person that we can leave that we are confident that will, hold this new Federation alliance intact, and that would be our good first officer who knows more about Romulans than any of us care to.
I'm not a diplomat, sir, but I'll do my best.
I
Well,
handed her the Klingon diplomacy handbook that Khan had when he was attempting to be an ambassador.
Oh no.
Is it just a club?
And no, you open it up and there's two daggers in there.
With those, yeah,
Right.
yes, yeah, there you go.
It's
yeah.
a hollowed out book
Yeah.
with two daggers in it.
Yeah, because you have to fight to the death to get your point across.
Wow.
I already have so many knives. You give me them every Christmas. And birthday.
I was just
Every
gonna say
gift
every
giving
chapter it
holiday.
just says look intimidating.
Fear is your greatest ally.
Oh my
Yasikov,
gosh.
if you need any of us to take care of, I don't know, do you have a plant or something? We'd be more than happy to.
Booker?
No.
I don't know what's in your quarters.
It's
other
just
than
very
violence.
utilitarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She-
No, thank you, sir.
She
I
only
will-
recently got a bed.
Yeah.
You just sleep on the anti-gravity plating. It's humble.
That's that. So Yezikov is going to beam down, and the rest of the ship is called off. So as you're heading back to the 1 sec, sorry. We're a little bit behind tonight. I'm sorry, but so as you're heading back to Federation space, or to at least Narendra Station, you get a call from Shrev to meet you actually at the station. Like, they don't want you to continue on with exploration. They want direct reports on what was going on and what happened, and they don't want it over subspace.
Full speed.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it. Yezikov, the USS Renegathan is going to be heading out your way. It is a new Grissom class starship. It's basically an upgrade of the Oberth. Still same sort of size and style, but 100 years upgraded, because those ships were pushing their limits for capabilities. So it's going to scan the planet. It's basically a planetary survey ship, about the same size too. So it's like, yeah, a berth class would probably be the same size as your as a saucer section, just to give it kind of like a size difference. It's got like 80 crew, and they're sciencey.
Nice.
Your style.
I'd look forward to doing something other than jumping in front of blaster fire. Or phaser fire. Yeah, my nose is bleeding.
Every time.
Every
Man.
I didn't notice it because the red shirt.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Next game, we'll have a different crew. So we're gonna jump to the USS Renegathan, and they'll be continuing on with the story, and then I will see you guys back in a month, in 4 weeks.
As a post-credit scene, Zanny in his reading room, you just hear, "Man, I actually have to read these reports now. Damn it!"
Oh, you do. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or it's just Sofek dryly reading them to you.
Oh no, he would.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Not unless it's time for his nap.
Every now and then, Beagle will walk by Sofek. It's totally soup.
I have a text-to-speech device. It's fine. I'll just listen.
You're doing reports as
audiobook.
audiobooks?
Audiobooks. Just tell me. It's efficient.
Okay, that's where Tim's time to fade to black. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the USS Renegathan, carrying on the adventure of Star Trek Lost Voyages, and I'll see this crew back in 4 weeks. In the meantime, you can hit me up on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, all the social medias at the GM Tim. Yeah. Live long and prosper, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.